Hello, Houston.
All right, welcome back to Going Corn, episode number 11 here. We got Caleb back on the show today. We're going to cover a lot of things in today's episode. We are halfway through the season, so we are going to be covering some topics from the first half of the season, some surprises, hot and colds, and then we're going to look ahead to the second half, some contenders, pretenders, things to look forward to, and we even have some interviews from some of the people around our league. And then, so different looking show for today. So let me bring in my guest host, Caleb. Welcome back after a long hiatus.
It was a good little vacation, Greg.
You went to another podcast. I'm a little sad.
I had to test the waters. I was like Paul George. Had to see free agency, see how it was going.
But you came back. You came back to Indiana.
The return. I'm the LeBron of podcasting.
For sure. All right, so this is going to be the leadoff spot. So we're going to do segments now. So this the leadoff spot. So we're just going to kind of sit and talk and give some thoughts for the week that was. We missed a couple weeks. So any thoughts from yesterday or the week before? It was windy as all heck.
Goodness.
My goodness.
That's kind of been the story of the year. If you want to talk about gameplay a little bit, it's been. I remember playing here the past 2 summers, and it has never been this windy.
No, like last year was great.
And it was perfect weather.
Yeah.
And it's definitely affecting games. I mean, you look at some of the statistical races, and you look at just some of the pitching stuff too. With that wind blowing out, it is ridiculously hard to pitch. And then with it blowing in, every person that goes up there is throwing like 90.
Throwing gas. I was throwing gas yesterday.
You were even
Caleb.
chatting it up a little bit, so that was pretty crazy. Something else that's come to mind a little bit for me, it's been those first 3 or 4 weeks we had a ton of free agents come out, and it was going really, really well. And then the past 2 or 3 weeks we haven't seen as many come out. I don't really know what the reasons have been, but we've kind of missed them. We were how many did we have that 1 week? We had 32, 33?
No, I thought we had close to 40.
Did we really?
I thought so.
We might have. I don't remember.
Well, because we had 10 teams. Yeah, 10 teams of 4s.
Okay.
We were at 40, I think, that 1 week. So, yeah, it was. It's been kind of. Well, we had that one. So, was that 2 weeks? No, that was 3 weeks ago, I think, was the rain.
Yeah.
That was the one of those solo shows I did.
Right.
Yeah, that kind of turned some people down.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what it is. It's just the weather's been, especially with the wind yesterday. We did have some more new people out. That was great. But,
yeah, those 2 new
and
guys.
they didn't even know anyone.
No,
that was great.
No, I know.
They just Googled.
They
and
found us on a Google search. That was pretty crazy. But yeah, the weather's played a huge factor. I love the fact that we have 5 teams right now that are all going at it for those top 3 playoff spots.
Oh, yeah.
Halfway through the season, when I did my preseason rankings, I thought there was going to be a clear divide between the top 3 and the bottom 4.
Yeah.
But it's kind of been just mushed all together. Us and the Truckers are separated, but the other 5, 6 if you include the Otters, those teams are piled up together. So it's been cool to see. That'll be interesting to see as we go forward to see what the race looks like.
Yeah.
Who pulls out in front of who, and we're going to get into a little bit more of that too.
Yeah, for sure. Today. Yeah, yesterday was kind of like a crazy. I can't believe you guys. The Truckers and Liners game was 20-0 with the wind blowing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Truckers not looking so hot right now, but see if they can turn it around in the second half. But a lot of high-scoring games. The Bashers won one, lost one. Okay. They scored 11 runs in the first game, and then they won the Truckers. That game was just forfeited. Neil didn't want to pitch, so he gave solo
just
home
give
runs.
Them all solo shots.
Solo shots.
That's what he said.
So, 6 solo shots for
crazy.
I can't believe it.
6 of them.
6. That was a question from Grant. Did those home runs count? Yeah, so
Yes, they count. They count.
Ovens were 1-1. Lost to the Liners, unfortunately.
Of course.
Dang wind blowing out.
Of course you did.
Yeah, ridiculous. The wind died down when Caleb hit a home run.
It was
though.
like the one time all day that it was called.
Yes.
And Jack
And then
threw
Caleb
it at
hit
the
it.
perfect
Yes.
time.
Dang it.
It was crazy. Sliders were 2-0.
Oh yeah, that's right. They were.
A really good week.
The Otters were not great this week.
And they won't be going.
Hey, that's some big news we could talk about. We had our first girl come out, first woman, I
Ah.
should say, come out to Leroy in Leroy history. It's
Yes.
that is exciting.
It's huge.
She hasn't been playing well, but
But she's bringing a lot of different value to the
oh
league
yeah,
that-
she's really excited. It's really good to see.
Yeah.
But it's just having that first, girl come and
yeah.
that's a big difference.
She's like the
It's a
Jackie
boys'
Robinson
club.
of wiffle ball.
Yes.
Breaking barriers.
I think somebody said they got to retire her number up
Retire
there.
her number. No, she's she's been doing a lot of different stuff. It's
Oh, yeah,
Lauren
she's-
Ashby, if you don't know.
Yeah.
She's been doing some stuff with video. There's some stuff in the
She
works.
made a
that
really
she's-
good hype video. That was really cool.
Yeah, and the one that she's potentially doing for the national team is going to be legit. So be on the lookout for her material. She's doing a lot of good things.
Yeah. So, anything else from last week or this week? Anything for you
No.
before we
No.
start kind of moving on?
Let's get the ball rolling.
So, all right. So, first thing we're going to do, it's our first half recap here. So, the first thing we're going to do is give each team a grade. So, we're going to go in reverse standing order
Okay.
as of this past week. So, this doesn't take into account the games yesterday, but this was before. So, as of this past Wednesday, June the 27th.
So when we do this, do we want to
Or
list?
28th.
Do we want to list their current record, or do we want to just do it as of this past week?
So, I think we should know all the records. So
Okay. Let's just
yeah. So we're gonna, but for the standings wise,
Right.
and so how we're gonna do this too, so everyone knows, we are gonna do it based on their moves, their record, and their gameplay. Because the gameplay and the record might not necessarily equal up. You could be
Right.
playing a lot better than your record. And moves, we discussed. Is it a good idea that hasn't made any moves? That certain teams haven't made any moves, like the Liners and the Ovens, or is there too many moves?
Right.
So
Right.
that's kind of what we did to evaluate each owner's grade.
Yep.
So the Truckers are 1-10 after this past week. The
Yeah.
run differential it's
Enormous.
it's past 100, I think, right now.
It's enormous.
Minus
Well, they gave up 40 runs in 2 games at
man,
least.
yeah, no, that's tough.
My grade is a D. I don't want to give him an F just because a lot of the stuff that Tim has had to deal with as an owner is out of his control.
Yeah, and he did have a rough shake just getting that team in general. I mean,
Right.
it was 3 teams before this year started.
I mean, it was crazy.
So
he's had to come up with a lot of different stuff on the fly. He's tried to make moves. The only criticism I would have, and I know that he wanted to trust Sitter, so it's not necessarily a bad move because as a fellow owner, I would have probably done the same.
oh yeah.
But when that multitude or plethora of free agents was available for the picking, I would have probably liked to see him try and make a move while there were still a lot of available free agents to do it.
Yeah.
But at what point do you not trust Sitter? Sitter's been one of the most consistent players in the league. So
Yeah, I know. But
Who
he
would've-
hasn't
who
just
would've
been
predicted
showing
it?
up. That's the main reason that
I
it's
know.
just been, yeah.
And that's something we'll talk about later, but who could have predicted that?
Yeah,
at
so-
the beginning of the year, Sitter was getting MVP considerations.
hmm
And what has he made it out?
Oh, he was
2-3
a
weeks?
consensus top 2 pick. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
that was just going to be what it was.
Yeah.
It was Matt and then him
Yeah.
and then possibly Marty, but so you give them a D.
Yeah.
So you talked about their moves.
Yeah.
The record obviously
This
is
is bad, and
and
their
their
gameplay
gameplay
is
is
probably even worse.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I'd have to give them a D minus,
Okay.
just right above the F, because they still have good players. He's trying.
right.
That's the thing. He's making a lot of moves, but I think it's just too many
yeah.
at a certain point. But I do give him credit. He is trying really hard. He's not But if you look at, I think the gameplay and the record really dragged the grade down for me.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to rate him on moves, I think it'd be closer to like a B.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah.
the rest of that stuff just really drags him down.
Yeah.
Just because it's just been unfortunate. They don't have consistency because Neal's every other week.
Right.
The sitter's just not coming showing up at 7, which is, not much you can do about that. But,
right.
Yeah, so yeah, D and D minus for the Truckers. Next we have the Bombers at they went 1-1 this week, so they're 5-7 now. I'll go first with this grade. I'm gonna give them a C.
Okay.
I think they're middle of the pack. They haven't made any moves. I think that's an okay thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're also one of those teams that are kind of hampered by the salary thing because the salary fluctuated so much.
They are.
They really can't drop anyone.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Ovens with me. Like, I mean, if they drop me, they would almost have less money to spend. And
exactly.
So that's what so I think they're middle of the road because gameplay has been pretty good for the most part.
Right.
But the record is kind of fallen down a little bit because they've lost some close games.
Yeah.
Eric's been hurt a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say a bunch of the same things. We talk about it all the time. It's just consistency. I mean, we said at the beginning of the year the Bombers are going to be as good as their pitching would take them. And they have not pitched the ball at the level that I thought they would.
No.
They would have. I mean, if you look at their runs allowed going into this week, they were third in runs allowed at 69. So, I mean, that's for this Bombers team, they don't have the bats in the lineup to be able to support giving up that many runs.
No.
I think that's why their 5-7 record looks that way. Is just because they're not giving up their bats can't support.
And not having Eric there for a few games is really hurt because he was so hot at the plate.
Yeah.
That was the thing. He's been good pitching, but I mean, he's probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we would have won against him if he was there. Just from his pitching and.
Yeah. And Brett's hitting has gotten considerably better. I mean, Brett's in the top 6 in batting average at 5'11".
He's hit a few home runs here, so.
But you look at the bottom half of that order, and Kyle has not been hitting as well as I thought he would.
Yeah, I mean, he was really hot there. I had him on the hot list. He was at the top of the rankings, and then just has struggled a little bit here. So,
and if I pull it up right now too, like I'm looking at the individual players. Kyle Reinhardt is third to last in batting average at 268. He leads the league in strikeouts at 25. He's got the bat to be a top 10 hitter, but I mean, it's just not coming through. Granted, played on a lot of tough fields, played against a lot of good pitching, but I mean, that's his role. The Bombers need him. So, and if he comes around, I'm sure that'll change with the way Brett's hitting, but we'll see. So,
all right. So
I didn't even give my grade. I forgot.
Oh yeah,
C minus.
C minus. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next is gonna be the Sliders, the backdoor Sliders. They are 6-6 after another 2-0 week. They won 4 in a row.
Okay.
I'm gonna give them a B+ overall. Just because if you look where that team was at the beginning of the year to now, a lot of good stuff going on for them. I'd say moves would be an A for me.
Okay.
Ryan and Garrett are really kind of those underrated people, I think, especially Garrett. I think he's one of the top. He's rookie of the year consideration for me. So and their record is 6-6, so that's about kind of what I expected them. Well, at the beginning, I did not expect them, but I mean, as they made those moves, it was a little bit better. But yeah, so that would be kind of the grade for me, just because. And I think their gameplay has been pretty good too. I think there's just been a couple games, especially Robbie showing up, is a great thing for them. Yes, huge. Great. I love to see him out there, man. He's a great player.
Yeah,
and Moselle's been doing a lot better this year, so I think their gameplay has been pretty good.
Yeah,
the record is the only thing that would kind of ding them down, but I mean, honestly, that's a little bit better than I expected them, so that's kind of why the grade is up for me.
Yeah. kind of the same thing for me. I would give them, I wouldn't go as high as a B+. I would say maybe B-, C+ range, right in between there. Jordan's made a lot of good moves. Jordan has also played phenomenally well. I'm going to talk about him more later. He's a top 10 pitcher right now in the league. I think he's 6th or 7th in pitching ranking, which is it's a huge upgrade and plus for that team.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about this going forward too as well. The reason I put them there is because while the moves he made are good for him right now, the playoffs is a completely different atmosphere.
I know.
So for them, having 2 rookies, that may be tough come playoff
Oh,
time.
yeah,
But as of right now, Jordan's doing a great job, and 6-6 is a really good place to be in this playoff.
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
for sure.
So,
all right. Is that all you got there for the sliders?
Yep.
All right, next we have the Badgers, Bush League Badgers. They are at 5-6 after this week. Why don't you go ahead and give what's your thoughts on the Badgers here?
I'm gonna say B.
Okay.
I think Jared's made good transactions. Picking up Friedman was a good move for Austin. Now I feel like Austin's a better pitcher, but Jared needed bats. Jared needed help at the plate. So Friedman's a definite upgrade from Austin in that perspective. They've played better than their record. They have a positive run differential with a losing record, which
That's
is
crazy.
Which is really
they are +7, but the runs they've only scored 41 runs.
I know, but they've only given up 34. So I mean, they're pitching the ball really well.
That's only 7 more than the Truckers
I know.
As of I didn't count the runs in this calculation, but
right.
Yeah, I mean, that's just
it's tough.
I get what you're saying
it's
now.
Tough.
Yeah.
Because Jared had to make a move for hitting. I mean, Jared is if we have the stats here, Jared's got 13 out of his team's 34 RBI. He's almost got half. So, I mean, he needed runs. He needed another
He needs
bat.
somebody to get on base more consistently.
And I think Friedman's the solution for that. They've played well. They've lost a lot of close games. They've won a lot of close games. So I'll put them at a B. I think they're doing exactly what I thought they would do. I mean, I had them pretty high at first, but I didn't think that, I thought Jeremiah would be playing a little better, Sam would be playing a little better, but they're not.
And
he
hasn't
bad.
showed up really as
Jeremiah,
consistently
as I thought would.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So you said B. I'm gonna say C+.
Okay.
Just because of my expectations at the beginning of the year was they were going to be in the top 3 with you and me. And, I thought they were going to be a very good team, just kind of run away. So I think their record, that's what the grade goes down for me.
Mm-hmm.
The moves, I'd say it's right around there, B-, because it wasn't a substantial move, really. I mean, Austin and Friedman, you're swapping a little bit of pitching for with Jared and Jeremiah though. Their pitching is pretty good. So, with that jump step, Jeremiah, man, that's tough.
That's crazy.
Oh gosh, but I agree with you there on a lot of those points. Same kind of stuff there. As
right.
I hate to agree with you, but you got me there.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else for the Badgers?
No, I'm good on these guys. So,
okay. So next we move on to the big unit Bashers, who took 1-1 yesterday, 1 win and 1 loss. So that moves them to 6-6 on the year. What do you have for the Bashers?
This is gonna be probably my highest grade I give. I'm gonna say A.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The moves are what really did it for me.
Okay.
Honestly, if you look at the makeup of his team before the season, he had Mike Feeney, Marty, and Nathan. All decent team, but he saw an opportunity and he picked up John Newcomb at the time, was a great pickup.
Right.
But as soon as he stopped showing up, he dropped him and got Wes Ellis.
Which is huge.
Wes is a very good player.
Yeah.
Just the few weeks I've seen him, he's very good.
Wes is great.
So I think that was a big time. But he also got Lucas Miedema, who happened to just be... He was awful his first week, honestly. When he played the Otters, and his pitching was just awful. He couldn't find the plate.
Yeah.
But we played him the next week when he was on the Bashers, the Ovens did. He struck us all out. 1, 2, 3 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the thing that sets it so high for me. The record, I mean, the Bashers. No one really thinks the Bashers would be 6-6 at this point. Did you? Do you think through 12 games they would be 500?
With that roster, the original roster, no.
Yeah, no. So that's the thing. So that's why I think that. And then their gameplay has been pretty good for the most part. They've only had a couple of clunker games, really.
Right.
I mean, yesterday they gave up 13 runs, but they scored 11.
Right.
In that first game, and then they just destroyed the Truckers.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah.
And so
I model some of the same things that you're saying too. Wes and Lucas are. I mean, if I look at that team, I mean, from a pitching perspective, Marty's a dominant number 1. Wes is a dominant number 2. I don't think there's a better 3. I mean, Jack, but is Jack really a number 3? I don't know. Is your number 3? I don't know. I mean, that 1-2-3 punch is good. And I mean, Grant, people don't realize this either. Grant has been pitching the ball great this year comparatively.
He's
been hitting the board a lot more. So I really like this Bashers team.
He struck out Robbie on a 24-2 pitch. Oh,
Rob,
that was
what
great.
Are you doing, Rob? 24-2, man. That's tough. But I'll give the Bashers a B+.
Okay.
I think that they're in a really good position. I think a big thing, again, they picked up 2 free agents. Wes and Lucas aren't new to competition, so it won't be as bad for them, but it's going to be kind of gelling, you know. Again, I don't think Grant's ever made it out of a semi. Oh, he did with the
with
in
his
2015,
first team, right?
2015, right? So he has it, but his players don't really. And we can speak volumes about it, just the playoff atmosphere.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We'll see.
But I think Wes and Marty, Marty was big time for the, what team was he on?
No, he was on Tim's team. He was a Badger last year.
Oh, yeah, that's
they
right.
They got bumped.
Well, but Marty was, still had playoff experience because he was their number 1 and he was their best.
I was talking about Wes and Lucas.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I get what you're saying, but I'm saying so Marty as a whole, their team will be benefited from Grant and Marty have both being good playoff experience. I think even Marty just having that short playoff experience is good enough. And I think Wes, he's been playing wiffle ball for how many years?
Yeah, like 6 or 7.
In Orville ball. I think he's used to and he's always played for Maple City, right? And Maple City's always up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to phase him. I think Lucas, he's played in big games as a baseball player. So yeah, I get what you're saying. It's a different thing, but really though, how awful that game you played in the playoffs against Grant's team last year.
Oh, it was 14-1 and 12-1.
You know, so some teams just end up being that's probably gonna be the Truckers. You know.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
But yeah, all right. So let's keep moving along. We've been talking for a while. The ovens. I'm just gonna give my thoughts. I'm not gonna give a grade.
Okay.
Just give a little bit of thoughts here. I think the moves we've been kind of hampered. We can't do anything. But I don't think we really have needed to. We just need to play more consistent. I think we're playing good at times, but we need to play better against the better teams.
Yeah.
I got to be able to put contact on the balls against, if I go get 2 strikes against somebody like you or John, I got to be able to put it in play. Right. But I think not having Jack for a couple weeks really kind of hurt our lineup. There's no way we lose to the Sliders and all them the way they were. We went 0-2 one week, I think we would have been fine, but and gameplay is a little choppy still, so just the defense needs to pick up a little bit. Mm-hmm. I've had a couple moments where I've tried to underhand the ball and it's tough. And it cost a run because Jack would give up a home run, but that was one more run. But
right. So
yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say A-. You guys are obviously second, so you're not doing bad.
No.
At 7-5. But like you said, I think it's the consistency. You guys are the best hitting team as a whole. It's not a question.
We've scored over 100 runs.
So that's not a question. I think it's I think the toughest thing about it is you guys have to find, Jack and Kyle specifically have to find a way to consistently, for their innings, keep 1-0 runs. You've got to, especially when we get to playoff time, that's going to be the thing. You guys will be able to make it up, but if you're giving up the same amount as you're giving up, as you're earning, then that doesn't really make a difference. So.
Yeah, because I think everyone knows I'm not going to be able to hold down. I pitched 2 scoreless innings yesterday, but that's not going to happen every week.
Right.
And so if I can limit the runs.
Right.
But that's the thing. We need those lockdown innings.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to be able to bank on it. You said, transactions, you guys haven't had to. There's not really been anything you needed to do. Especially with the salary cap.
Thank goodness Jack came back, because that was a real struggle, because he was trying to figure out, well, do I drop Jack? And
Right.
Good thing he didn't.
Right, because Jack's been playing really well. So I say A-. Yeah, and now that Jack's back, you guys should be hitting your stride here in the second half of the season. So,
all right, and then last team is yours. You want to give your thoughts first, since I did that kind of with my team?
Sure. We're 10-1 in the middle of the season. I know the first thing that's out of everyone's mouth is that we haven't had Austin, and it's a valid point. We haven't. I haven't purposely, tried to have 3 players there every week. It's just
liar.
It's just with my salary cap being so close as it is. I don't.
People
really
want to know, why are you colluding to pitch 5 innings each week?
Here we go with this. Goodness gracious. No, I think we're playing really good wiffle ball. Me and John are top.
John's been. That's the thing that surprised me, is how well he's pitched. Because I know he can pitch fast, but he the last few years he just hasn't been pitching that well.
As well as he have been, I know.
Not as this year, yeah.
I think John is definitely he mirrors his environment. So when he's pushed and challenged, he plays that way. So
yeah.
And I think me picking up Austin, no offense to Quinn did great for us while he was here, but Austin has just made me look really, really good with that move. He's pitched the ball well. He's hit 3 homers in 4 games. He's been playing really well. So I think we're in a really good place. When Austin comes back, I think we'll have some momentum and he'll fit right in. So
yeah, I would say A- for me, just because of the Austin Gibson thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really it. Otherwise, it's all 3 phases for you guys are going well right now.
Yeah,
record's good. Moves, you don't. That was a good move that you made.
Yeah.
Dropping, who'd you have to begin with? Aaron or Joel Mance? Yeah. So dropping Joel to get Quinn. Quinn was suitable for the time,
Yep.
He didn't give up a lot of runs.
Yep.
He got on base, kind of what I do.
Yep.
So that was a good move at the time. So I think that's why I just didn't want to. My highest grade was the Bashers, so I didn't want to give you.
They're doing really well, so they deserve the grades. So.
Yeah, so
yeah,
for sure. All right, so that's gonna do it for our grades there. So next, what we got is we are going to do first half surprises. So surprises and disappointments. Surprises, I am gonna say my first one is the amount of people we've had in total over the first half. We've had a lot of people come in, a lot of new people, a lot of people that never even heard of any of us before, just found us on social media, found us. So that's a great thing to see.
Right.
And if I had to say any player or anything, Garrett Lytle was my surprise. Just the way he's been playing. He just kind of came out of nowhere and never really expected him to do that well, he's been pretty good for the Sliders there. He's probably their second best player.
Yeah.
Even Jordan's saying it's close.
Yeah.
Jordan raves about him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. My surprises, I just have the first is just the Bashers' individual performances. Wes, John when he was here, and 6-6 playing the way they're playing. I think they are a legitimate. If they keep playing this well and building on their momentum, they're a legitimate playoff threat.
Mm-hmm.
They are a team that could take the ship. So that's been my surprise, just how well the Bashers have been
Take
playing.
the shit? What?
Take a shit. Yeah, the ship. My other surprise is individual shout out to Jordan Moselle. Moselle.
The egg.
Nice. He has pitched so well. He's top 10. I think he's 6th or 7th in pitching ranking.
Really?
He's been throwing the ball incredibly well. So shout out to him. You've surprised me. You deserve it.
Yeah. Disappointments. My first one is the weather.
Yeah.
That's so stupid. I
sucked.
hate this weather.
It sucked. It's been awful.
Ugh. And then people not doing their jobs afterwards. Because I see a lot of people just kind of duck out after their games.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of trash. I see a lot of bats, a lot of balls, lots of
bases.
We've
been on balls.
So, I mean, is that the liner's job?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ours is the grass. We have to fold the mats.
The turf. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
and that's been done consistently too.
Yeah,
so.
Kyle's really good about that one.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think, or just not telling people, hey, pick up your beer cans and stuff. Like,
right.
When you have to go around and clean up like 1,000 beer cans.
It gets annoying. Yeah.
When we have a huge
Pick your
trash
stuff up.
can.
Seriously, it's not that hard. It's ridiculous. You're grown men.
All right, Dad. Thanks.
Sorry, I just got emotional there.
I see. He's crying a little bit right now.
I'm upset. I'm not going to lie.
You know, like that commercial back in the day with the Indian by the road.
Oh, goodness. We're not getting into our feelings on the podcast. My disappointments. First one's been Andrew Sitter. I love Sitter. That's my guy. But you got to show up, man. I mean, you were getting MVP recognition like you were going to take me down this year. And I honestly wanted to see you do it. And you haven't been here. You haven't played that well. Now, me probably saying that, you're going to come back the next 10 weeks and hit like 700 or some crazy shit like that. But, man, it's been disappointing. I wanted to see you come out and play well. And then my other disappointment, it's kind of a personal one, just not being able to see Austin. Everyone likes to talk crap that he was bad and stuff, and that he didn't come. But when we talked at the beginning of the year when I was going to draft him, he was super excited to come out and play, and he was committing to coming out and playing a good amount, and I'm really upset that he got hurt in that way. It was a really bad injury. He's been rehabbing for 4 or 5 months, so I've been kind of disappointed that he hasn't been able to come out and play, and we haven't gotten to see him, but he is scheduled to be making a comeback in the next 2 to 3 weeks, so we should be able to see him for at least 2 weeks before playoffs and then get to see him going forward, so...
All right, cool. We're going to do one more thing, and then we're going to take a quick break before our new segment. So we're going to do hot and cold for the first half, all together. Start off with the hots. And so hopefully Tim won't complain at me this time for not knowing hot and nots. I'm doing the whole first half, okay, people? All right, so my hots are... Caleb, I hate talking. Dang it. Jack, I mean, he's just been out of his mind, really.
From the plate? Yeah.
He's 700 before this week.
Yeah.
We had a rough week at the plate against you guys, but still
Weather,
his averages.
shocker.
I know, man.
It's tough.
We've always played like with that wind kind of like blowing out, or blowing in. It's like ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Garrett would be my third hot. Just, I'm really high on him. I don't know why, but
I like him too. He's been playing really well.
Yeah. How about you?
My three, I have Marty. Marty silencing a lot of critics from the plate. We knew the speed and velocity has always been there from the mound, but he's hitting really well this year.
And he had a huge game this week.
My gosh.
A
I think he had
huge.
like 8 homers or something.
It's like
crazy.
you and him for batter of the week, I think.
It'll be close. I don't know who it will be, but Jordan Moselle's my second. I mentioned him earlier. Just love to see Moselle starting to get better. I mean, it takes time, but in this league, if you stay with it and you keep trying, you'll find your pitch, and he's obviously found it this year. Then my third is John Gibson. Like from a statistical perspective, John was $32 or $33 to start this year, and his salary right now is like 43 or 44. So he's almost $10 or $11 better than what he was, which is I mean, that's. I mean, a
That's
$5
good, yeah,
or
no.
$6 jump is like.
Good season, yeah.
Yeah, and then a $10 jump is. So he's been.
Yeah, it's good.
He's been playing.
Yeah.
I'll go right into my colds.
Yeah, for sure.
I have Jake Van Buren as my first one. I played with Jake last year. He's not playing bad, but I know he's much better than how he's playing. Again,
I'm glad you mentioned that because I have one of those on my list too.
Okay. Yeah. Jake's kind of like John in that he's a product of his environment. I mean, you know me, I'm competitive. I'm into the game. So Jake.
Really? You're competitive? What?
Asshole, shut up. Jake. Brett isn't as like that, so Jake relaxing a little bit may not be as good for him, but I'd like to see Jake play better. Brad Kamstra, the only person that's worse than him at the plate is Lauren. It's not from an average perspective.
Shots fired at Lauren.
No, shots not fired at Lauren. Brad is just not hitting well. I thought he'd be better than what he is. And then my third is Jake Altoff.
Come on, man.
No,
the hatred never ends.
He's dry ice. We haven't seen him in 6 weeks. Everyone was gonna say he was gonna have a big comeback. We haven't seen him out there. Obviously, he's all talk.
I think the only one that told anyone that is Tim Wilcher. So,
well, it's sad. You know what? I thought Jake was gonna come back and prove me wrong, but I guess he had other plans. Maybe he got a new cell phone. He got a new plan.
Oh man! Oh, you're so.
Did he go to Verizon this year instead of Sprint?
Cricket Mobile, I think.
Cricket Mobile.
So.
Cricket Mobile. All right, what's your cold?
Okay, I only have two colds.
Okay.
I've bashed on Tim enough. I've bashed on, like, Kyle's heated up. I think he's kind of in the middle now. If I had to say, cold throughout the first, Neil would be one for me. Just giving up a lot of runs anytime he showed up.
Yeah.
I get he's not able to show up, but when he does show up, it's just been rough.
No, you're not wrong.
So, and then for me, I have one that Jake, you were saying, he's not as good as he should be.
Right.
I put Brett there. I'd say he's not cold. He's like lukewarm. He's almost in the hot.
Yep.
But I just I had a hard time finding some really cold that you didn't mention already.
Yeah.
I could say people that have only showed up once or twice, like Lauren, who
right
hasn't gotten a hit. But I mean, yeah. I just say Brett. He gave up a game-winning home run and. That's not usually, he's great though. So
there's some controversy associated with that.
I saw that.
I don't know. They have an interesting case.
I'm gonna say something here though.
Let's hold on off it. Let's hold off on it. We'll talk about it.
We'll do it. Our ending thoughts. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So So what we're gonna do now, before we get into our second half, we're gonna take a little bit of a break here, and we're gonna play a new segment for you. It's called the hot seat. So we're going to try and get some players from the field to give us some interview, and we ask them some random questions, fun little interview, and get to know some people around our league that we may not have talked to already or get a chance to hear much about. So first up, we've got the sheriff. So that's going to be our first hot seat for the week. So enjoy this interview. So back here again at the field on the hot seat. This time is going to be Jared Yunkman, owner, board member, and all-around good player here. He's going to be on our national team. So Jared, give us a little introduction to yourself. What do you want the people to know about you?
I'm the sheriff around here, just trying to play a nice game of wiffle ball every Wednesday, Gets to lull the week over with. It's a great time. Great guys here, too.
Do you actually do anything for the board? This is the burning question.
I burn the clock in the off season. Actually, I do the logos for the team, the unseen good part of the team league. But my time is usually in the off season. So
cool. So how long have you been an owner again? We just talked about this. This is your third year, right?
Yeah, this is my third year as the owner of the Bush League Badgers. Underrated team, but we like to show up in the playoffs. But not really.
Well, if you could get Friedman to show up, that'd be a good thing.
You know, Friedman's just, he's a good pickup, but, he's had an emergency last week and he's vacationing in Vermont, but I have confidence in him.
Okay, cool. Quick question about this year. What do you think, if you had to describe this year in one word, what would it be?
Unlucky, Greg.
Unlucky. Why is that?
Well, my team has never, I repeat, never played with the wind. Today we'll be playing against the wind again.
Good for pitching.
But, going back to the unlucky part, the first week we didn't even get to play a game, so my team was all scattered around. Haven't got that sense of unity yet that I would like, but we're working on it.
Yeah. It seems like you guys kind of you kind of end up with games that you don't play and stuff like that because it feels like you're like behind, kind of like Caleb too. He hasn't played the Otters all year. You guys have not really played against the free agent team either. So a couple random questions here. Oh, man. Well, let's go with the pizza one. So, you got pepperoni or sausage?
I'm a sausage dude, Greg.
Sausage.
Love my sausage.
Big time sausage, huh?
Yeah.
Sausage fest for Jared. All right,
Yeah.
good. Home run or 3 strikeouts?
I'll go for the home run every time.
I'll say solo home run or 3 strikeouts.
I like
Still
it.
saying home
I'm
run?
a team player. I'll go for the 3 strikeouts.
Okay, good. Now, what do you think is your strongest part of your game?
Myself, I think I bring most of my team through my bat.
Okay.
I can help them get through any situation if I have a hot bat at this game, but, just try to help my team out as anything as offensively as can.
Cool. So, awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by, Sheriff. Thanks for doing this with us. It's good to see you, and we'll see you next time.
Sure, anytime, Greg.
All right, and we're back. Thanks for that interview, Sheriff. Very entertaining there. So we're just going to quickly look ahead to the second half of just things we're looking forward to. This is going to be real quick. We've been talking for a while already. What are you looking forward to?
Mainly for me, I'm just looking forward to see how this playoff race is going to shape up.
Mm-hmm.
You got 5 teams that all have a shot to take second place. You guys have a good lead on it, a good jump, but one bad week and one good week from any of those teams, and it could be close again.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. We'll see how it's going to shape up. Barring John tearing an ACL or Austin, I think we'll be good in that one spot, and I think the Truckers have solidified themselves as the 8th seed. But
you never know. The Otters could take a tumble.
Oh, well.
That would take the Truckers
That's
winning
a really
4
good point.
games.
That's a really good point. But you never know.
That would take the Truckers winning 4 more games. Oh,
well,
sorry, Tim.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
So the playoff race, and then I'm not going to lie, the national tournament's got me really excited.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're going to try. We got 2 weeks, right, before that?
Yep.
2 weeks out. I think we're going to do a little show just all national stuff.
Yep.
So for us, like what we're looking forward to, maybe try and get Brett or Eric or somebody else on our team on here and talking about nationals a little bit more, and then we'll have our normal kind of episode.
Yep.
Too. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that too. I'm very excited about our team. I'm very excited to go just in general.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a fun time, I think.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm just enjoying playing this year.
Yeah.
I'm not as stressed out. I being on a team has helped me kind of settle in a little bit more.
Yeah.
I know my role. I know what I need to do.
Right.
So I think I'm doing pretty well now.
I agree. Yep.
So, yeah. So that's just it for me. So now we are going to do rapid fire. So this segment's surrounding the bases. It's a game previews. It's going to be a real quick pace rapid fire kind of thing. So one of us can read off the matchup. The other person gives the who wins and probable scores, and then we're not going to do the Otters games. We're just going to assume that the team that plays them wins, except for the Truckers.
All right. First game, Liners versus Bombers. Who do you have?
Liners 8-2.
Okay.
Bashers Ovens.
Ovens 3-1. Sliders Truckers.
Sliders. 10-2. All right, and then we got gosh, I'm losing my spots. Badgers sliders for at the 7 o'clock games.
Badgers 5-4. Truckers Ovens.
Ovens 18-2. And then Bombers Bashers. It's the last one for the day.
Bashers 6-4.
Ooh, that one's actually gonna be a really good game.
That should be the game. of the
Yeah,
week.
that definitely. That's gonna be a good game to look at. All right, so see that was quick pace. No fussing
hiccups.
around there. Yes,
We
all
got
right.
straight through.
So, all right, now we are.
My favorite part of the day.
So this is where we're going. We're wrapping up. This going deep. The end of our show here. We got this
We
can
love
be
to
where
go
we.
deep. We go in super deep.
So we got questions
so
here.
deep.
We got some controversy, Kermit's Corner stuff. This will all kind of fall into this section of what's going on. So
Is it safe to say that this may be the best batch of questions we've gotten in the
this
question
is
bag?
fun, man. This is our Leroy Elite chat is coming up with some funny ones.
So do you want to just go straight through the list?
Let's see here.
Let's
skip
try
that
let's
one.
try and limit these to 30 seconds to a minute.
Oh yeah, no. Will the Huffinator return? No.
No, he lives in
he's,
Chicago.
He's got a job with the Cubs now. Plus, he lives downtown. Even though Wes drives from Wisconsin every week.
Oh, yes.
Goodness.
You missed
Guy's
the first question.
dedicated.
What's the first question?
I didn't know if you wanted me to ask that
it,
one.
I don't care.
Are Caleb and Ashby dating? Grant wants to know.
We've gone on a date, yes. Went
Oh.
really well. She's
it
a
has
stud.
been answered.
She's a stud. Lauren, if you're hearing this, you're a great person. All right.
Another one from the G unit there.
Another one.
Grant.
Yes, Grant, thank you for putting that on display. I appreciate it. Is Friedman
Bad English there, but yeah.
Friedman hasn't shown since Jared picked
There
him
you
up.
go.
Is he unhappy with the team he's on?
Ooh. I don't know. No, I don't think. I think it's just been unlucky that that's happened.
Grant, I'll give you some insider information. He's been in Vermont for 2 weeks. so there's
Vermont.
your
What is
answer.
there to do in Vermont? What is he doing? Collecting
See some
maple
pine
syrup?
trees?
Come on, man.
Right. All right, this was actually one in our board chat. Who will finish with a better record, the 2017 Truckers or 2016 Wonders?
Oh, my God. We had a poll. We said who was a better team, and Moselle put a team of preschoolers. Oh, my God.
Who would you take?
Oh,
Who would you take?
I'm taking the Wonders from last year to have a better record.
3-game series, you're taking the Wonders.
How many games? No. Oh, who will finish with a better record?
Oh,
How many wins did the Wonders
I
have?
think they were 5-15 or something like that. So
The Truckers
know.
are not looking good for that.
I don't know.
How about you?
I give a vote of confidence to my cousin Truckers. I think they could beat them. I do. If Sitter shows up, they could do it. All right. Is Shane fed up with the Otters?
I don't know.
No, very quickly. He has a different work schedule.
There you go. Austin had. All right. Austin's had a few good games. Will the trade, the pickup, pay off in the end for Caleb and the Liners? Yes. I think he's a little bit better than Quinn overall. The bat's a little bit better than him. So
Yep, I would say the same.
pitching's about the same.
Yeah. This next question, I'm sorry. Should Tim re-sign Brad Kamstra?
He's been their best player.
Tim, get Brad Kamstra back on the team. He's going to turn the culture around, okay?
He's going to turn it around.
He's just a real locker room type kid, you know? He's great for the camaraderie, the culture. For the culture, Tim. You need to do it for the culture.
The culture. All right. Did Neil make a mistake last night by giving the Badgers 6 solo shots without throwing a pitch?
The Truckers were already down some absurd number, 34-2 or something. Neil says, I'm done. F it. We'll just give them all solo homers. That's how he exited. 6 solo homers for the entire Bashers
The best
lineup.
part of that game, he's sitting in left field talking to you at the fence.
We were having good conversation.
Wes hits it right like near him. He doesn't move. Wes gets like all the way to third.
The best part about that, Tim's rationale for getting Neil to try is not to win the game. He goes, Tim, And he goes, Neil, if we don't field the ball, we're going to have to be out here for much longer. That was his rationale.
Oh.
All right. Some more truckers bashing. Will the truckers win again?
That's
Question
from Tall
Sam
Stall.
Yes, they will. I don't know how many more, but they will win another game.
I really hope they win at least one more.
What's the best signing this season?
Best signing? It's from the Bashers, I'd have to say. I'd say the Wes Ellis, because who did he drop? Was that John they dropped for him?
No, I think he dropped Feeney.
Oh, no. Feeney he dropped. Oh, crap.
He either dropped
I know
him
it's
for
quick,
Nathan
but-
or...
Well, no, Nathan was the last one to go. Because he dropped.
So then it
he
was
dropped
Wes for
Feeney
Nathan.
for John, and then Grant or Zaidema. I think he dropped Zaidema for Luca. Something like that.
I don't know what
That's
it was.
okay. Wes Ellis. Okay,
Sure.
there you go.
I would say Garrett.
Damn it. Okay. Worst signing. I don't know. There's
Camstra.
lots.
Camstra potentially. You could argue John Newcomb because he hasn't shown up.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, Brad. Brad, it's not that we don't love you because we do. It's just you got to play better, bud. That's it.
Will Tim continue ownership next year?
I can give you an 100% answer to that, and that will be no.
No,
Tim will
absolutely
be
not.
owner.
Grant wants to know who's the owner of the year. Too hard to tell, too early to tell.
I agree.
You got to see how the playoffs go.
Yep.
I don't want to give that thought because, I mean, there are lots of ways to go with it. We could talk for hours on that.
I agree.
Go ahead.
Will the Badgers ever get a chance to bat with the wind blowing out?
No, never.
You better ask Tom Skilling.
Yeah.
Tom may be able to give you that answer.
Tom's in another state right now, though, so.
That's right. Will Sam add choices to the beer menu?
No. They're good the way
Bud Light
they are.
Lime. Can you get
No,
Bud Light
God,
Lime in there?
Are you a woman?
It's good beer. Okay?
It's not.
It's great beer. Leave me alone. Okay, we're skipping these next few because they're a little
Okay.
ridiculous.
Wait. Oh, my gosh.
Grant, Matt, and Brett will not be at
Okay.
Wiffle next week. How much will the games be affected?
Wait,
I
what?
actually didn't know that. Oh, it's Grant's 21st birthday, and there's a day game at Wrigley. They're not coming.
Oh, I won't be there either then. Dun,
Wow.
dun. No. I'm just
Controversy.
kidding. Who knows?
Controversy.
It depends. There's a pretty good promo that day, I think, too. I think there's like a bobblehead. I might just go for that and
Oh.
then leave.
Oh, dear.
How much Matt and Brett will be a big miss for their teams,
Yes.
obviously.
Yep.
But the Ovens have the truckers, so I mean, it
Okay.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yep. Give and
I don't
take.
think it'll be that big of an effect because Eric's back. And they played without Brett a couple times already, so I think
Right.
it won't be a big deal.
Right.
Was the Sliders win versus the Bashers a fluke? And is it true the Bashers are the new team to beat? All coming from the owner. Grant's
From
got.
Hey, we appreciate the questions, though.
Yeah, I know.
It's
I love
nice.
it. No, I don't think it was a fluke. I think the Sliders are just as good as the Bashers at times.
Yep. I agree.
Talent-wise, Bashers are better.
Mm-hmm.
Playing-wise, I think, and experience and all that, I think.
Yeah.
Sliders can keep up with them. Anything else?
Are they the new team to beat?
No,
No.
because I think they'll probably be a 4 seed. Is my prediction. The Bashers
I have them as 4th or 5th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
a lot higher than we originally thought. So
Yeah.
but not that the team to be is the Liners. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
they've lost one game.
I know.
And that's because they had a certain player on their team.
Nope. She did great. She did awesome.
Did we have any more questions? I thought we had.
We do. The controversial one.
Oh, well, and let's talk too. Tim says I'm going to get dropped soon and released because I said some about him being worse than Lauren.
There may be a.
Statistically, this week he was, though. But he's.
Yeah. Yeah.
She only gave him 6 runs.
She did well.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it
No,
is
no, no.
not
That's
easy to.
no. Everyone does that.
Yep.
Everyone does it their first week, so
Yep.
it's fine.
It's not.
We're not
easy to
bashing
come-
Lauren. Lauren's great.
No.
We like her. She's done a lot already.
Yeah.
And she's very enthusiastic. All
She's
thumbs up.
huge. She got more likes and views on her Instagram video.
Oh, she's
in,
all
in
there.
3 hours.
She's like
in
all
3
over
hours
that
than we
stuff.
got
It's
in
crazy,
16.
Man. She's a social media.
We have the same amount of followers on the page. So.
All right, so go ahead. You talk about this.
So, the trade or the
the trade?
the
me?
thing that you were, or do you? No, let's
No,
just
it's
until
he was just mad at me. I don't think that's a real thing.
Okay, so we've gotten a lot of buzz in the league today about a controversial play. It was Ovens versus Bombers, bottom of the eighth.
Eighth inning, yeah.
Eighth inning. So it was an extra innings. It's a big moment. Jack is up with 2 runners on. He hits a homer.
No. It was 2 outs, nobody on,
tie game. Okay, so Jack is the winning run at the plate if he hits a homer. We went back and we watched the video. It is a clear error from both sides in the count. The count was 4-2, and Brett threw a pitch to hit pitch when he should have had the opportunity to throw another fast pitch. The argument or the gripe from Eric and Brett today have been that Jack knew about the count being that way and did not say anything. My thoughts on this situation are yes, but I don't think that. I think it's very coincidental that both Matt, Jack, and the entire team didn't know. However, we don't have any grounds to prove it because Brett and Eric, your team didn't bring it up as well. So for me, I mean, I'm not involved, obviously, so I'm not going to try and stir the pot. What I think is that potentially there could have been some foul play involved there. We don't know for sure, but it could have all been avoided if the score would have been called out. And I get a ton of shit for this all the time. But every single pitch, whether I'm hitting, I'm in the field, or I'm on the mound, I'm calling the count. And I do it so that we never get into a situation like this. And I know Matt Dykstra does the exact same thing. He does. So
he doesn't pay attention to other people's. That's the thing. That's kind of the issue.
Okay.
I think Jack is. I'm going to give it from my point of view. If I'm going to say this, if he did know, that's wrong, obviously. But
right.
I can't tell.
Right, and I can't either.
I don't know him that well. Plus, I'm just like, I want to believe that no one's really trying to be that much of a jerk, especially to our friends that we've known for a while. But yeah, like you said, it has to just be called out.
Yep.
Because Jack, honestly, there's times he doesn't know the count. I have to count for him a lot of the time.
Right.
Because there was a situation earlier in the game where he was facing Kyle, and Kyle's just throwing the ball. That kind of is what happens with some of these players. They just start throwing the ball. Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Ball,
with
ball,
no
ball,
pause.
Ball.
Right.
Yeah. And so the count was, I thought it was something. And then I thought Kyle said something. He didn't. But so when I said the count, Jack was like, wait, I thought there was more. And then Kyle thought there was less. Right. And then there was an argument of, well, we have to pay attention to the count. So I think it's both sides. I think both sides need to pay attention more. I think that's the takeaway from this. Because that situation wouldn't have happened if Brett had just known maybe, okay, or if somebody on his team would have just said, no.
Right.
No. No, it's only that was only 3-2.
Right.
And that was only 4-2. You still have another pitch.
Right.
Like if somebody would have said that, I don't think Jack would have complained.
Right.
I don't think anything like that.
Yeah. That's my point through all this is like you can't blame this on a single person. This isn't completely Jack. This isn't completely Brett. You have 8 players playing on that field,
and no one. Yeah, I should have done a better. Like everyone on that field
in that
should
situation.
have done a better job. Yeah.
So going forward, I mean, the easy solution is while it may be obnoxious, if you don't want to get into that situation, both sides call it every single pitch. Mm-hmm. I mean, you may get made fun of. People may give you shit, but at the end of the day,
I think a lot of us are kind of have fallen into that before. I mean, I've messed it up before, and I'm pretty good about it. But I mean,
we all do it. Right, it's hard not to.
So I'm sorry, Brett, that came up. We don't want to win that's obviously we don't want to win a close game like that. That would just be Bush League. But,
right.
Yeah. So That's all I'm gonna say. Sorry, I'm not trying to stir anything. I know people want
Well, I
to
don't-
controversy, but
Right.
it's a topic that we should talk about. So I
Right.
think that's
That's good insight.
yeah.
on it.
So all right. So I think that's gonna do it for today. We got lots of content in today. Lots of talking. Had our first interview. So if you liked what you heard today, if you like some of the segments we did, if you got any other suggestions for other segments we could do, people you want to hear on the hot seat, anything like that, make sure to hit us on Twitter at GoingCornLWA. We need some more followers.
Yep.
Please follow us. Yeah, and you can always, find me or Caleb on Twitter as well, and just ask questions there. So, so that's going to do it for us today. And until next time, this has been Going Corn.